Hello everyone, my name is Sal. Today I'm going to teach about Android shared preferences. I will use it for remember username and password in the login page. So first, you have to know how to read data from PHP MySQL. For that, I use one of my library I call generic asyntax version 2. And then you use shared preferences to store data. And lastly, we have to encrypt data to MD5. So I use a library of mine as well. I call it MD5 simply. So all of this in GitHub console gig. So this is my YouTube channel. Please subscribe it. If you want to watch another video, just go and browse it here. There are two languages, English and Khmer, which is my native language. This is the GitHub. And you go to repositories and you will find generic asyntax here and MD5 simply. And you go here, just click download and grab the genasync 1.2.jar and the MD5 simply. Also download and grab the MD5 simply. Because I downloaded it already, so I will grab the code. So let's add the library first. You unzip it, open it and copy, and you go to Android here. Let's create a project, use a blank one. So to add a library, you click here, over here, and choose project, and you will find app, and you go to libs and right click here, paste, and then right click again on the jar file and you say add as library here. Okay, so you need another library, this one just for MD5. So to connect to the website you need another library. It's called generic asyntax version 2. So copy again and right click, paste it here. Okay, right click again and choose add as library. So you can go back to Android. You have to make sure that the library is already added. You go to Gradle, the second one. You will see these two lines. It means you are good to go. So to connect to the website, you have to ask for a permission, Android manifest here. And you say use this permission, Android internet. Okay. So then you can use the internet and connect to the website. So go to the main activity here. Okay, this is the the basic code here. You just add anything here. So in the layout you want to have like a login for email and password. There are two files for you. The activity main here is for the button, the floating button, and the content main is the place you want to add the like a text box or anything here. So delete it. Okay, zoom in a little bit, and you need an email. Grab email like this. Okay, and a password, and you need a checkbox because you want to remember your password here. Maybe drag like this. And the last one is a button for the login. So rename it. I call it ET email. Username or password, email is up to you. Password. And here I call remember me and CB remember check. I want to check as a default and login. Btn login. And then you want to remove this button. You go to activity main and just simply delete like this. but you have to delete the code in here as well. Yeah. And if you don't want a menu, this is the menu code, just delete it. Okay, so run first to test it. Okay, you can give a username or maybe email like this, and a password, maybe 123, and you remember this and you log in. You go to another page, and after that you log in again. The login page will be skipped because you remember the password. Okay, this is the scenario. So first you have to know how to get the data from the web page. So I add the library here, as you can see before, the gen axing. If you open here, you will see the post response axing task. This is the main class, and you will grab the data back from the axing response class. So here, post response axing task, we call task, new post response axing task. The first one is the context. So this, and then you want to put the data, you can use the third constructor. If you don't have anything to post, just use the first one. So this is the class, so you call new, you press control space, then you will see axing response like this. And over here you can get the data inside here. Okay, say, and then you want to point to a URL. So now I want to use the local one. So first you have to have, like WAM or XAMPP. For me, I use XAMPP, and I have to run it. Okay, and port is 80. If you use another port, you have to specify it here. Because you want to use the local one, usually you say HTTP like this, localhost. Okay, usually this is the method you want to connect to the local, but the local host here is inside the Genymotion or emulator as well. So if you call localhost, it will not connect to your machine localhost. So at this point, you have to give the alias IP address is 10.0.2.2. If you are using the Android native emulator, but if you use Genymotion like me, you can use the number 3 instead. And if you are using another port beside 80, you have to tell, let's say you call 8080, for example, like this, then you have to say 8080, okay? And if you have another page, for me, a customer, so I have to give to the correct location. So at this point, you have to have a PHP page. So now you go to htdocs for them, and for the WAM, there is one problem as well. Usually you cannot easily connect to the 10.0.3 like this because it has some permission, like a config file, and then you have to change something. If you don't change it, you cannot connect. You can go to the Google and you say WAM permission denied like this. There are a lot of people that have the same problem, and to do that, you see C WAM alias PHP admin config like this. You have to change from this to this. So the thing is here, okay, you can change something like that, or maybe you can Google for more. But if you are using XAMPP like me, you are good to go. You don't have any problem. Okay, now go to htdocs. I have PHP here under the folder customer. So maybe just test the local first. Okay, so this is the current root. You should go to your browser and say localhost. Okay, this is the localhost. Okay, XAMPP. Maybe copy like this. And remember, there is a lot of problem here. At first, you have to figure out by seeing the log. So let's see it. Now simply OK. Okay, but let's say you don't have any internet, or maybe your web server is down. Stop all like this. Test it again. Okay, as you can see here, it said failed to connect to 10.0.3.2 after the 15 seconds. So you have to see this. So make sure you have the good internet and the web server must be on. So start again, and the port must be right. So now I can connect to the customer, and in my customer I have the index. So the index is a default page for that. So let's see the code first. You can open it in any text editor, but for now I use brackets. It's the open source. So this is the login page. Actually, if you go to localhost customer, it is the index PHP. Okay, because I have already written the code, so I will explain a little bit. For example, the is set, it means that you want to test it is the text username or text password will come in or not, and come in from the post. Post, it means that the data you will not see from the form here, the post, and then you grab it and assign to username, and then select the data from the database. So the database here is from the connection, and I will post the source code in the description of the YouTube, so you can download the full source code from there. So if you're using the different database, for example here I use customer, and you just change to your database, and let's go to the database here. This is the database customer. I have two tables. The first one is TBL user for the login. This is what we are going to do with. So Kosol and Kosol, ABC 123, and this one is a string. Okay, this is the auto increment. So nothing special here. And if you want to compare it like exactly the same, you can use binary. Yeah. Okay. So if the result is greater than 1, it means that you have the data in the database. It means correct username and password. Then you echo success. Then you grab the success and check in the website. The exit here, it means that you exit. You don't want the HTML below to appear. So this is login, and Kosol, login. This is the word success. You grab the success and then you test it in your Android. Okay, this is the URL to the index page. So I will log first. So I will declare final string tag this get class get name. This will give a name here. You can just say main activity, but this one will grab the name, and if the name change, then the tag will change to the same name. Okay, and easy to do the log. Called log d tag, and then s is a result. Run it. Okay, as you can see, this is the result, but it is in HTML. The HTML here is from here. Okay, and you can see the code here. When you just first log in, right click and you paste source. This is the code. Okay, it's not logged in yet, so you want to pass the data to the form. Okay, so you remember the PHP here, you have the text username and text password in, so you can put the data over there. So here you call hash map. Okay, I say data hash map, and then data put. So because the hash map use the key and value here, so you can put the key. So what is the key here? The key is the variable here, okay, in the post. So you have to copy if you are not sure, and then this one as well. So this is the data for that. So let's say console, okay, data put, and password is console, okay, and you will see something different from the before, but here you give the data as a second parameter here, and then you maybe enter this and the log here, because we put the tag as the name of the class, so we can say main activity, okay, see. Okay, the problem that you see is because that I didn't put the index.php at the end. Remember, this is not a redirect page, so it doesn't know if you put, the customer like this, it will redirect to the index.php. It doesn't know, so you have to give the exact URL to the PHP page. So now you get the word success here. So after you get the word success, then you can do something else. Okay, if as equal, and you cannot put the equal sign for the string in Java. So success, okay. But sometimes the word equal here can have some problem as well, because sometimes the success has a space at the end. So I suggest you to use contain instead. It contains success, then you can go to the sub page, for example. So I have to create a sub page here. Right click, you go to new activity, blank activity, sub activity, finished. If you see something like this, just click the refresh button, should disappear. Okay, now you want to go to the sub, so you call intent in new intent from main activity this sub activity class, and start activity int. Then it should go to the sub when it is successful. Test it again. Okay, now you can go to the sub because it is console and console the right password. But you want to input the data, so you go to content main, the one that you have the interface here. So remember the ET email password button and check remember here. So you have to get it here. First button, use it and login, edit text, ET email, ET password, checkbox, CB remember, and maybe over here you call it by find view by ID and cast to button and assign to the BTN login for the login, and you do the same for the other. Okay, so now you can get the data. So you want to get the data from the email and password here. So right here you want to call maybe login BTN, maybe you press the login, okay, like this, and then make main activity implement on click listener. It will open on click method for you, so cut all the code here, pass it here. Okay, so now you want to get the data from the ET email, get text, and toString. Et password get text toString. Okay, test it again. Give a wrong password email first. Login, nothing. You can have a message like login failed. Try again here. Okay, with the correct password. Okay, now you can go to the sub-activity. It's correct one. So we have completed our first one. So we will go to shared preferences to save the data and use it as like a remember me. Okay. So over here, so maybe so over here you have to call share preferences interface, and maybe you call pref here for short, and you get a shared preferences. And the first one is the file name, and maybe I call it login, maybe .conf, and the mode here, the context must be mode private. You have to use mode private. You don't want to expose your login authentication to another app. It's very important. And then shared preferences dot editor pref edit. Then you get the data from there. Let me show you the example first. Edit here, you can put string. Okay, now it's a key and value similar to this one. So you give the key. What is the key here? So I say username, and the value is the ET email. Okay, just grab it. This, and the password similar, ET password. After you put all the string, you have to call apply to save it. Okay, so now let's say it saved any data and you want to grab it back. You have to call pref.getString. Okay, then you have to give a key, a correct one. So this is username, and the second one is a default value. Okay. So if you say something, it means that if the data username was not saved, then it will give the default one. So now I give the default as a blank one, and the password here is password. So let's log it. Okay, because the ET email and password did not apply yet, so it's like a blank one. So maybe I have to put it inside the on click here. So maybe I put it over here. But now we got a problem. The pref here is does not belong to this method, so I have to declare it outside. So I cut, and this one as well. Delete it like this. Okay, so I put it inside the on click. It's better. So now even the right or wrong password, it will save to the data, because just for testing. Okay, let's say 1 2 3 1 2 3. Now the data is 1 2 3 and 1 2 3. Okay, now let's test it without you write it here. It's the right thing, so let's comment it here. It means that you get the data from the file. You should get the data 1 2 3 and 1 2 3 from the login here, even though we don't put a string here. Now nothing, but click here. See, it's 1 2 3 and 1 2 3. Okay, now you got the idea how to use the share preferences. It's not that hard. maybe after you log in success, then you want to save it. Okay. And maybe you just delete this one. But remember, when we log in, only you check this. If you don't check this, it will ask you to enter username and password again. So the checkbox here, you have to have an event. So CB, remember you set on check chain listener. Okay, this is the event for the checkbox. And make man implemented. So we will create another method for that. This is the check. Okay, if it is check, then it's check. If it is not, then it's not. So easy, right? It's check is a boolean. So you want to get the data. So now I have to declare a boolean outside, and I call check flag. So the flag here is like, true or false. Now check flag. So first I want to get the data, the check flag from the CB, remember is check. Okay, so check flag equals CB, remember is check. It will return the data by the default data that we put it here. If you put it like unchecked, so the default will be unchecked. Now it's checked, then it will be true. Okay, so if the check flag is true, so now you have to get the data from here as well. The check flag equal is check. If you change, and then you will change the flag here as well. Okay, now test it first. I don't want to confuse you. So maybe here log the tag check flag, and because it's boolean, you have to put it like this. Here is better, and here as well. Okay, let's see the log here. When I uncheck, see, now the check flag is false. The first one is true because of the here. Okay, so let's say I uncheck it and I run it again. As you can see, now the check flag is false as the default one. If I check it, then it will be true. Okay, this is the check flag. It's very important because we will use the check flag over here, and I will say if check flag is true, but for the boolean you don't have to check with the double equal like this. It's just like this. If check flag is true, it means it's true. Then you want to save. Okay, and if not, then you don't save. So that's all you have to do. Okay, so let's say 1, 2, 3, and like this, and you say check. Okay, now it's full, right? So it's not gonna save anything. And if you say console and the password console like this, it will save. Okay, now you want to test if it is saved or not. Now you go to sub here. You want to use the same class because you want to use the same cache. So what you want is just this line. You don't have to use the editor. Editor is for writing. And over here, graph get shared preferences. The file name must be the same. It's better to just copy and pass here. Now log again. So copy the log here. Then you can log tag, and now pref get string. So what you say, maybe username like this, and the default one must be blank, and the password as well. Okay, ABC 1 2 3, and you don't remember. Now it's the last, okay, the last data it didn't save. Okay, it's correct. So here, let's run it again, and then let's say I check this. Remember me? So ABC 1 2 3, check, login. Now ABC 1 2 3, so it is a correct one. So when you have the data saved over here, you want to test that if the data is saved, then you want to check it. If it is correct password, then you don't have to, enter the username and password again. So around here, you have to test it. If, let's say, you get the data, sorry, maybe after this one, if pref get string and username, okay, maybe like this, but maybe it's better to assign to string outside. Maybe it's better to do outside like this, and string password. So you have to check that if it is a blank one, then it's not correct. Or if it is not blank, maybe there is some data. So you have to check if it is not blank. So easy just to do like equal and the blank, and then you have the exclamation here is it's not, okay, and then need another one and over here, and password equal blank. So it just means that if the username and the password is not blank, it must be something saved in here. But why you have to check it like this? Because the username and password in the database might be changed somewhere else. For example, like you are using a computer, you change the password, then the app should check again. So this is the best way to do that. So you have to check it here, and you have to call the post async task again. Okay, it's almost the same. So we'll copy here. And hash map as well. And you want to pass in the username and password that is been saved in the shared preferences. Okay, you give the data like this, but now you don't want to save anything, but you want to check the data inside your shared preferences against the data in the database. If it is correct, then it will return success. If it is success, then you will go to the intent. Okay, now go here and click. As you can see, it will skip and go to the sub activity here because it will check the data over here, okay, and send it here. So it is the correct one, and you can do like, maybe you can have a flash screen, and then check the username and password, and if not, maybe go to the login. If the correct one, maybe skip the login, go to the sub one. So it is your way. Now I just give the basic, understanding. Okay, now in the sub one, you want to clear and you want to, log out. So in the sub, maybe content here, you can have a button to log out, but because now we have the button here is the activity sub here. So I want to click on this button and I want to log out. So first I want to change the button. Let's call it maybe input delete. It's not the right one. If you want a good image icon, maybe go and download from the internet, but now just use this one. So let's call it fab logout, and then inside the sub activity here, and it's a fab logout, and rename it to fab logout. So over here I want to clear all the data, so maybe it's better to call it before the floating. Okay, so pref here you call edit. Okay, if you want to declare to the edit, it's okay. If not, just call edit like this and clear and commit. It will clear all the data in the login.conf. Okay, it's a shortcut, and if you want full code, it's like this. But it's better to call it outside. And then editor, pref, edit, and editor, clear, editor, commit. Okay, it's the same thing. And after you clear it, you want to go back to the main one, so call intent again. Okay, so it should go back if you click the button. As you can see, now it skipped the login and go to the sub, but let's say logout. Now you can see the login page again. Let's run it again. The data should be cleared. Okay, now let's see the log. Even though you put the main here, okay, nothing, and the check flag is false. Let's say correct password, goes all and goes all, log in. Now you don't check it to test it. Okay, go out to the sub, test it again. See, it's correct one, and check, log in, sub. Now it's skipped to the sub activity. If you log out, then you go to the login page. Okay, it's almost done except the MD5. The reason that we have to use the MD5 here is that the login username and password is very important. It should be, encrypted, and you can just do it by using my library MD5 simply. So you go there to the MD5 simply and grab the MD5 simply here. Actually, we copied it already, right? So don't need it. So to do the MD5 is very easy. Here, when you put the password here, the save here, you call MD5 and then encrypt. That's all. That's all you need to do. Okay. And here is encrypt, but let's test it before we do anything. What is the code that after encrypt? So solve, check, login. Now this is the MD5 code. Okay, so you have to go here and check. So now you check it, but remember this is the check, another check. Okay, so let's see if you don't put the MD5 over here, just only the when you save. It doesn't know because the MD5 code and the code that you enter from the website is wrong. Okay, so what you do here is to go to the PHP and you have to encrypt the the password as well as the MD5. The username here is not MD5, so we cannot just, when you insert the data, you have to insert with the MD5. So I will create an insert one. This is the insert page, but insert for the product, just copy. So let's call it insert user. So pass the code, password, and here input password, and TT username, TT password. Okay, like this. And here you have to check username and TT password, and we delete the rest of that. Okay, something like this, good. Name, password, username, password, TBL user. Okay, and the UID is auto increment, so we don't need it. Password. Here value is password, and must be a single quote for a string. Delete the rest. Okay, should be good. So delete all of this. But when we insert it, the password has to change to the MD5 as well. So call it MD5. Insert user PHP. Now let's call it Kusol Geek, and password is Kusol Geek. Insert. Now insert successfully. Go to the database and check it out. Rest. Now the MD5 is inserted. Okay. So when I compare the data from the database and here, it must be correct. Okay. Okay, maybe one more thing over here. Have to put the MD5 encrypt. Should be fine now. Okay. Gig. Login. Yes. Now I don't remember, so it should not be saved. Okay, it's good. Again. Okay, it's saved. Log in again. Okay, as you can see now, it's skipped to the sub activity. It means that the password is correct. You log out, should clear all the data. Okay, so it's the way. So let me summarize it. So first, you have to have another PHP page for the insert user, and make sure that you have the MD5 when you put the username to the database. When you check the data here, it's okay. Don't put the MD5. But when you check the data by enter from the edit text here, you have to check with the MD5. And when the checkbox is ticked, then you want to add the data and you encrypt to the MD5 as well. Okay, this is the end of the video. So if you like it, please don't forget to subscribe my channel, and I will see you in next good video. Thank you.